Audiobooks.com presents No Longer Safe, written by A.J. Waines, narrated by Emma Powell. Chapter 1. 15th of November. You were the last person I expected to hear from after all this time, after all the cards and letters that had come back marked "Return to Sender." I drifted from the hall into the sitting room, carrying the envelope on both outstretched palms, like a piece of newly discovered treasure. One slice from Dad's paper knife and it was open. At first I thought it was an invitation to a wedding, but there was no card. Instead, it was a letter wrapped around a glossy brochure of a castle nestling amongst snow-capped mountains. It was your handwriting for certain. I looked straight down to the bottom of the second sheet to confirm it. Karen Morley. That's when I had to sit down. My head was suddenly too big for my body and I couldn't trust myself to read without feeling giddy. Was it really you? I checked the address. Brixton. In London terms, that meant you were practically on my doorstep. No distance at all. I made my brain slow down so I could trail my eyes across the curves of your fountain pen. That was a novelty in itself, the personal touch, when nearly everything that landed on our doormat these days was typed. But that was very much your way of doing things, Karen, making people feel special. Making that extra effort to show you cared. Would be wonderful to see you again. Remembered your birthday. Love to invite you. Important time for me. I read the first part again. It was an invitation, but not to a wedding. You were inviting me to a cottage in the Highlands, on holiday. I slid from the arm of the sofa into the seat. Nearly 6 years without a word, and now this. I tried to reach you after we finished uni, of course I did. You were the one who stood out, the friend I thought I'd found for life. Once uni was over, other associations tailed off and calls were replaced with Facebook updates with the odd round-robin email. But ours was different. To be honest, I hadn't expected you to fall away like you did, Karen. We'd established a real bond, or so I thought. Afterwards, you moved to Bristol while I moved back to London, but I was certain we'd visit each other. I'd travel one weekend, you'd travel the next. I had my heart set not only on keeping in touch, but staying best friends. I did go to stay with you at the start. Just once, remember? You replied to my emails for a while. Sent a cheery card that first Christmas. But then, like the rest, you drifted away from me and I never heard from you again. Until now. I held the letter under my nose. Stupid, I know. Just to see if there was a trace of you left on the paper. Then I held it to my chest and allowed your presence to sink into me again. You were my inspiration. The person I wanted to be. I'd never felt that kind of admiration about anyone before. You brought everything alive and coaxed me out of my shell. With no siblings and a small disjointed family, my only proper relationships were with my parents, and I'd always found them impossible to talk to. It had never occurred to me to bare my deepest feelings to them. You were different. I knew straight away the first time I spoke to you. All my doubts and failings came tumbling out because you made me feel so safe, without any sting of judgment. No one had ever offered that to me before. No one else ever seemed to notice when something was wrong.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?